everybody, my name is Brianna. I am a registered nurse. Here on my channel we talk about all things nursing, entrepreneurship, and productivity. So today we're going to have a little bit of fun and we are going to talk about things that irritate nurses. I'm going to list out a few things, and if you agree with these things, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to list is one of my biggest pet peeves, and that is when providers do their rounding at 7:30 a.m. or p.m. right after shift change, and they want to ask you all these questions and want to know exactly every detail that's going on with your patient. And this is the time when you just got a report. You may have not done your assessment yet. You haven't had time to look through your chart. You don't know anything that's going on. And here's my favorite response. Oh, I thought since you were the nurse, you would know. Well, if you were coming around on your patients, didn't you think it was a good idea to sit there and look at the chart yourself before you came to the floor? And it irks me to the core when this certain provider does it. Nurse practitioners, okay? Don't you agree with me? Because they were bedside nurses too, and they know exactly how it is. So why are they going to do the same thing? Okay, so in the next couple of things, they're going to have a lot of things that patients' families do. And that one thing is when you're actively cooling a patient and they complain that the patient is cold. Even though you've told them why you're doing it, what the benefits are, they're going to be mad because you didn't put socks on and you didn't put a blanket on them. Okay, thing number 3 that really irks nurses is when the patient's family arrives and they expect you to be in the room as soon as they appear to answer all of their questions, as if you don't have anything to do. I've had plenty of times where I see that a family's coming, and I go into their room after a few moments. Maybe I'm in another patient's room finishing up something, or I need to chart something, or I'm on the phone talking to somebody, and I walk in, it's maybe been a whole 5 or 10 minutes that they've been in the room, and I hear them as I'm approaching, I hear them saying, "Where is the nurse? Shouldn't she be here right now? We've been here for an hour already." So another big thing that really gets on a nurse's nerves, family members. When you have a big family, when your patient has a big family, and everybody calls for their own separate update. But the thing is, they're all together, but they all have to call for it's like they all want their own separate update. Okay, so let me call and get your update. And then another person calls and they get their update, but they're all sitting together. And then they get mad at you when you sit there and tell them you don't have enough time to give 20 people the same update every 2 hours. They need to talk to each other. Okay, so this is one that would happen to me a lot. I don't know if it would happen to you guys, so let me know. Whenever I was taking care of a patient, occasionally there would be a family member or a friend that would come to visit, and I would, explain what was going on, or they would ask me a question, or they would just immediately blurt out, "Okay, well, I'm a nurse. You need to tell me what's going on. I know what's happening. You don't need to tell me. I'm a nurse." And I'm thinking, okay, well, good for you. And a lot of times it was, I would ask, "What type of nursing do you do? Where do you work at?" And it would be some field that was not related to what we're doing. I'm an adult ICU nurse, and so they would say, "Oh, I work in pediatrics," or "I work with the babies." And they would have kind of ridiculous requests, and that would just be something that irked me. It was, "Oh, I'm a nurse. I know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're doing." Now, I'm not talking about those family members who come in and say, "I'm a nurse. Can you please explain to me what's going on? I want to be able to relay things better to my family because they have questions." That is okay. That's always helpful. But those people that want to pretend that they're nurses or just be rude, there's no reason for it. Next on this list that I have written down is when you are dumped on. And I mean with work, not with the literal, because that happens. I'm talking about when either you're getting a patient from one floor to your floor, or one area to your area, or from one shift to your shift. When those areas or that shift prior to you doesn't do their job and they just pretty much dump it onto you because they figured, oh, well, you're going to do it, so I don't have to do it. And this is something that has happened to me multiple times. Now, I know this happens both ways, and versus day shift and night shift, and from the floor to the ICU to the floor. But there have been plenty of times where I've received a patient from the floor coming to the ICU, and I was going to be that nurse. And that nurse would tell me, oh, they need their meds, they need blood drawn, they need a urine sample, they need a stool sample. And that patient had a PICC line, a PEG tube, a Foley, a FMS. So there was no reason for that nurse to not get all those things that were done. And they would come over, drop the patient off, and then leave, and then call me back and say, oh, I didn't get all that stuff done. I don't know why people think this is okay or why people do that, but it's when your family members or even the patients themselves act as if you're their waitress or their hired servant, and they kind of just act like you're the errand boy and you need to run around and grab them water. I've had several times where family members will come and visit the patient and they will ask me directly, you saw us coming, why didn't you go ahead and bring us waters? Because I'm not a waitress, this is not a restaurant, I'm your nurse, and this is a hospital. So let me know what you guys think. This is one of the biggest things that will make a nurse mad or send the entire hospital on a strike. And that is if you take the coffee away. It seems kind of funny, but it's true. Nurses, we love our coffee. It doesn't matter whether it's 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. We're always making it, and it's just a necessity, it seems like. And for example, there was one day a patient had an FMS, and that nurse put coffee grounds in that patient's room by the FMS. So all of you nurses and fellow clinical people will know why, right? Well, it just so happened that day an executive was walking around the unit, looked down and saw that, left, and apparently a little while later somebody was coming in and taking away the coffee machine because that executive said, oh, they don't know how to use coffee properly. They don't need to use coffee anymore. And if you ever are visiting a patient or visiting a loved one in the hospital and you want to give a nurse a gift or that unit a gift, coffee is a good thing, you know. It doesn't matter if it's from Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, Caribou, anywhere is good. Okay, guys, so that was my list of things that will really make a nurse mad. I know this list could go on and on and on, so let me know what you guys think of these and how you guys feel about those. And if you have any other ones, feel free to leave a comment below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every Monday. Look forward to seeing you then. Bye.